Yo, Gabriel here. So, I figured I would just do this quick companion video to that last run. I said I was going to show it, and I forgot to. Didn't know if anybody would be super interested, so I'm just going to put it in the description as a unlisted um, follow up. But anyway, it's like it was kind of talking about the rarity of rare versus uncommon in terms of like any particular single card in either rarity coming up. And I wanted to show another panel I had meant to include in my original Baylor Lord video, which was the skip rate. And actually, I'm still not super happy with how I laid this out, but it's a little confusing. Skip rate, I'm just taking the skip count divided by the take count. Take percent, I'm doing more of like a skip versus skip plus take. I don't know if that made sense, but essentially you can look at it one of two ways. You can look at it the rate that a card is skipped versus a card is taken. But also we can just see the times they skip it versus the times they take it. Now, the actual card choice of skip is different here, right? I'm saying, did they see the card in a draft, and whether they skipped it or took another card, I'm counting that as a skip, right? And as a result, skip and singing bowl don't really end up making in the skip count because they're their own thing. But we don't care about those. So first thing let's look at, and this is well, let's look at the take percent first of all. So we see already the Master of Strategy, that's a colorless card, so it's its own thing, but it is just interesting to note that is his card that technically, if he sees it, is the highest rate to actually take it. Very interesting to see, but not that surprising. It's just a really solid card. You usually need to have a reason to take another card over it, and you would never just straight up skip it necessarily either. But then you see these two cards that are just generally always useful, Vault and Scrawl. 88% of the time he sees Vault, he takes it. 81% of the time he sees Scrawl, he takes it. Then we get to an uncommon here, Meditate. He sees it 78% of the time, or 79% really, percent of the time he'll take it. Now that's really not that all different to at least Scrawl. We can say Vault is taken almost 10%, or yeah, about 10% more. But taking a look at Scrawl and Meditate, he takes them about the same percent, and then the overall numbers are about the same here, which means he's seen it about the same amount of time. Scrawl is a little bit less, but it's not a huge amount, right? And obviously there's going to be some variance here, right? There's a little bit of variance. The sample size is as big as you can get for a Slay the Spire player, but it's still in the grand scheme of variance. Variance is still present, but we see a little bit of evidence here that, you look at Vault, you look at Scroll, you look at Meditate. He saw Vault 34 times. He saw Scroll 32 times, and he saw Meditate 38 times. Is that really all that different? Not really. So if the common suggestion to move Rush down to a rarer card, to me it just doesn't sit right, and also I should mention I'm not factoring in shop purchases here. Those obviously change things, and that's kind of what I was talking about. It's like it will be a nerf to the card, but it's not that massive of a nerf. You're still going to see it about as often as you see an uncommon as far as card reward screens are concerned. So that's just something I like to point out. And it's obviously not one for one, right? I can look down here, Adrenaline is a rare, and Calculated Gamble is an uncommon, right? And you see that quite a lot more than you see Adrenaline, right? It was seen 46 times, which is more in line. Also, he's played more silent runs, you can see, but it's more in line with the rares, whereas Calculated Gamble is like 83 times, so a bit more than Meditate, right? But we see other ones in here too, like Feel No Pain is an uncommon, Malaise is a rare, Biased Cog is a rare, Seek is a rare, but Well-Laid Plans is an uncommon. It's like, yeah, the rare is seen less typically, but not that much less. Not that much less. Like, we're seeing similar take percents. I guess this is what I'm trying to illustrate. I'm trying to illustrate these cards are getting taken at about the same percent, yet the overall totals aren't that far off, right? For a lot of them. Some of them it's big. Like the Calculated Gamble one is like pretty big difference, but some of the other ones aren't, like Well-Laid Plans and whatnot. You see Well-Laid Plans not that much less, or not that much more than Echo Form, for example. Disarm. The funny thing is because he takes Prismatic Shards so often, beyond just the event choice that you do to choose, or the Niao choice that you do to choose between colorless cards, he actually has a lot of sample size of colorless card, actual card rewards, because he takes Prismal Dust, like over 20 times in the status set, but it's another interesting thing to note. And Hologram, I think Hologram is the first common card we even see on that. And now you can see a huge difference there, right? Common cards, you see a shitload. I mean, this is just, none of the other cards are even in the realm of this amount of sight, right? That's almost, 200, that's 202, if I'm doing my math correct. 202 times Hologram was seen. So if you want to nerf a common, yeah, make a common and an uncommon or a rare, and then yeah, you will see it less. But yeah, and even like a Mental Fortress was seen, I think, even less than some of those rares, right? 25 times or 35 times. That's right there, right? But then yeah, Shrug It Off is a common. You see that a lot, 166 times. Wraith Forum, so on and so forth. But yeah, I didn't want to get too into the weeds here, especially as it's an unlisted video that maybe only 2 people even look at. But that's just my evidence, I guess, showing that moving cards between uncommon and rarities isn't a huge move in either direction. The rares will be seen less, but not massively less. The main thing is they will be showing up less at shops, and but the actual card rewards, they don't show up that much less. And yeah, I think I've hopefully illustrated that. And also, since we're on it, since I did add this though, it is kind of funny to note here, like if we look at like the overall skip count, we can see the card. This is something I wish I had included originally in Baylor Lords in the video on his data, but like, we'd kind of noted, oh, he really doesn't like Quick Slash. Well, we see it in plain as day right here. The only card he skips more is Stack, but actually the rate at which he skips Quick Slash is higher. And that's why I differentiated the skip rate versus the take percent. So like if I sort by skip rate, I can really see cards that he just is basically always skipping, right? Blizzard, he took it 1 out of 69, nice times. Nirvana, 1 out of 61. Rampage is an interesting one to me. This is where you see the difference in playstyles, right? Because I can't off the top of my head remember what life coach kind of values Rampage as, but I've seen Jorbs take it a significant amount of times, right? And both of them are winning pretty high with Ironclad, but Baylor Lord just doesn't value the card at all. Does that mean the card's bad? I don't know. It means that he doesn't like it, and certainly you can do good by never using it. However, if I then look at Jorb's data, he doesn't have any modern data to use, but I can use his data from like 3 or 4 years ago, and I can see that Rampage did okay for him, right? I can see it does okay in my own data. That's the funny thing with these things. Ah, shit. Well, I have to cut this. Oh, you know what? I can use the pause function. 1 sec. Alright. Sweet. The new pause function worked. Anyway, well, I have to get going, so I basically have to end this. But anyway, we can just see on the skip rate here, like, you can see the rate at which he just basically, it just means he doesn't value these cards, right? Like, he doesn't seem to value Rampage. Wraith of Flame is no surprise. I don't know how this card ever was made. Distraction, Riddled Holes. I want to get back to playing the Silent. I swear I want to prove the worth of Riddled Holes. Not that it's a good card. It's a bad card, but I feel like I can take it in enough runs, and I feel like I can do well with it, but that's neither here nor there. Like, Jack of all trades, no surprise there. It's like Distraction, but worse. Deep Breath, Fire Breathing. That's an interesting one. I would have thought he could find more use for that. However, if you look at a lot of the other stuff, we'll see, like, he doesn't really add a lot of the cards that create statuses. Quick Slash, as we've noted, 209 skips to 9 takes. Setup, I'm surprised he took it at all. This is the worst card in the game to me. I feel like they should do, they could do a simple fix to this one, just have it apply 5 armor as well, or 5 defense to yourself. It's in line with, I think, the theme of the card and the theme of silent skills. It wouldn't make it that good of a card, it'd just be something you could take more often. I mean, compared that to similar, like, Watcher cards, right? Flying Sleeves, no surprise there. This card's weird to me. I feel like they could redo this and Brilliance. I feel like Brilliance needs to be retaining, but you kind of got to give and take. Like, Flying Sleeves should lose its retain, in my opinion, and just be reworked to something a little more interesting. Infinite Blades, no surprise there. I've bashed this card plenty of times before. It just sucks. It's like, compare it to Blade Dance. Same amount of energy, except Blade Dance does for you immediately what Infinite Blades would do from you 4 turns from now. 5 turns if you have your Blade Dance upgraded, because you can't really upgrade Infinite Blades in any reasonable way. The innate is pretty shit on it, in my opinion. Windmill Strike, again, no real surprise there. These retain cards, just Brilliance as well. I don't mind getting Brilliance from a transform, but I just can't ever see myself adding a Brilliance to a deck, even if it was a Mantra deck. Maybe if it was a Mantra deck, I don't know. Searing Blow, no surprise. Heavy Blade, I guess no surprise when you factor in that he's really not... It's like if he's going for a strength build, which he usually wouldn't be, that wouldn't even be the card he'd want. It'd be Sword Boomerang. Reach Heaven, I'm surprised that he doesn't value that one a little higher. I've never thought it was amazing, but like I've taken it even in my new strategy. It makes the nice to have list. Stack, no surprise. Iron Wave, yeah. Iron Wave is just very non-impactful. Signature Move, Perfected Strike. Slice is interesting. I've started to like Slice more ever since it got reworked. I don't like it, but I like it more than I hate it, right? Or I like it more than hating it. I don't hate it anymore. I just am like bleh about it. Path to Victory, we don't know what that is. Some of these card names in the data do not match what their in-game name is, because off the top of my head, I have no idea what Path to Victory is. Empty Body, he takes quite a lot. Surprised on that. Or no, he doesn't. He skips it quite a lot, so no surprise. Yeah, I've always thought it's the worst empty card. But, you know, so on and so forth. Bane. Protect, we've looked at them. I guess we could also look at the ones that have the lowest skip rate, which we kind of already did with the take percent, but yeah. Either way, that will do it for this one. As always, thanks for watching, and until next time, peace.